Hello and a very good evening. You're watching News Tonight. I'm Frank Rausen Pereira. Here are the headlines. First 2+2 dialogue between foreign and defense ministers of India and Japan held in New Delhi. Talks focus on strengthening security in Indo-Pacific region, emphasize need for international partnership in countering terrorism and violent extremism. Both Japanese ministers also meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Over 64% polling recorded in the first phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections, voting for 13 seats in 6 districts to decide electoral fate of 189 candidates, including Health Minister Ramchandra Chandravanshi and Congress State President Rameshwar Orao. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu calls for increasing private and public investment in education and research, underscores importance of universities in building new India, focus on making students job creators instead of job seekers. Uddhav Thackeray-led coalition passes floor test in the Maharashtra Assembly. 169 members support the motion. 4 MLAs remain neutral. BJP stages walkout, alleges that rules have been flouted. And in the last 4 months, significant drop in incidents of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. At the completion of 6 months of the second term of the Modi government, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar says government working hard to bring about speedy changes on many fronts, including the economy. Prime Minister Modi says NDA government making efforts to empower 130 crore Indians. Well, India and Japan on Saturday held their inaugural foreign and defense ministerial dialogue with an aim to give further momentum to their special strategic partnership, particularly in the maritime domain. India and Japan also emphasized the need for international partnership in countering terrorism and violent extremism. In this regard, they asked Pakistan to root out terrorist havens and stop cross-border movement of terrorists. The two countries specifically called upon Islamabad to fully comply with its international commitments to deal with terrorism, including the steps prescribed by the Financial Action Task Force. They emphasized the freedom of navigation in the South China Seas while seeking a code of conduct to ensure that international rules are followed. Both sides also urged North Korea to work on peace and work speedily on dismantling weapons of mass destruction. The ministers also decided to institute a new mechanism for further deepening bilateral security and defense cooperation and bring greater depth to the special strategic and global partnership between the two countries. The Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar led the Indian delegation, while the Japanese side was headed by Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi and Minister of Defense Taro Kono.
स्पेशल स्ट्रेटेजिक एंड ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप ने मौजूदा ग्लोबल कॉन्टेक्स्ट में एक महत्वपूर्ण स्थान बना लिया है और जापान के साथ हमारा रिलेशनशिप एशिया में स्टेबिलिटी का एक मेजर फैक्टर बन चुका है और यह भारत की एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी की आधारशिला तथा इंडो पैसिफिक के हमारे विजन का एक सेंटर पीस है। एक्सेलेंसीज, हमारे लीडर्स के बीच क्लोज पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप होने के कारण पिछले कुछ वर्षों में दोनों देशों के बायलैटरल रिलेशंस में अभूतपूर्व परिवर्तन हुआ है। एक्सेलेंसीज, हमारे दोनों देशों के बीच डिफेंस और सिक्योरिटी पार्टनरशिप बायलैटरल एंगेजमेंट्स के लिए एक की पिलर के रूप में उभरी है।
The fact that Japan is the only country with which India has an annual summit mechanism and a 2+2 ministerial dialogue underscores the importance that India attaches to its relationship with Japan. Our dialogue today symbolizes the deep level of mutual trust and understanding between our two countries and reflects the synergy that we are witnessing between India's Act East policy and Japan's free and open Indo-Pacific vision.
インド太平洋の維持・強化に向けて安全保障、防衛両面でのインドとの協力を一層具体化させていきたいと思います。 北朝鮮は28日にも2発の弾道ミサイルを発射いたします。
Well, earlier, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar met the Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi at the delegation-level talks led by the External Affairs Minister. Various aspects of the special strategic partnership between the two countries were reviewed. The two sides also discussed ways to further strengthen bilateral relations. On the other hand, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met with Defence Minister Taro Kono of Japan. In the meeting, the two countries talked about increasing cooperation in the defence sector. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India's ties with Japan are important for peace, prosperity and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. The Prime Minister said this during the meeting with the Defence and Foreign Ministers of Japan. During the meeting, the Prime Minister emphasized the importance of increasing bilateral cooperation in all areas. He said that further enhancement in Indo-Japanese ties will benefit people of both countries as well as the world. The Prime Minister also told the Japanese ministers that India is eager to welcome Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for the India-Japan annual summit next month. The Prime Minister also hoped that bilateral strategic and defence cooperation will be strengthened through 2+2 talks. Well, the centre has taken several important decisions in national interest in the last 6 months, and the government is working fast on many fronts, including the economy. This is how Union Minister Prakash Javadekar described the first 6 months of the Modi government's second term, saying Modi 2.0 was dedicated to development and security of the country. Citing various landmark decisions and work done in the first 6 months, Javadekar said the repeal of Articles 370 and 35A has paved the path of peace in Kashmir. He further added that terrorism in Kashmir has been at a minimum level after the historic decision. Javadekar also said that important decisions, including purchase of the Rafale aircraft, were taken for the safety of the country.
देश में लगातार देश हित के दृष्टि से ही निर्णय हो रहे हैं और देश के सुरक्षा को मजबूत करने के जैसे प्रयास हुए। राफेल हवाई जहाज इन्हीं 6 महीने में भारत में आया। बाकी भी आधुनिक सामग्री लेने के फैसले हुए। उसी के साथ पार्लियामेंट में पहली दफा इतना काम हुआ और 370 धारा और 35A खत्म हुआ। और पिछले 4 महीने, पहले 4 महीने है कि जब कश्मीर में आतंकवाद एकदम कम है। नहीं तो पहले आतंकवाद हावी होता था, अब आतंकवाद पीछे हट गया है। ट्रिपल तलाक का बिल हुआ और उससे भी मुस्लिम महिलाओं को एक जो मूल न्याय देने का मुद्दा था और न्याय मिलने का मुद्दा था, उनकी मांग पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आदेश दिया था, उसका भी पालन हुआ है। उसके साथ साथ तेजी से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के काम और सरकारी निवेश बढ़ गया है। और अयोध्या का फैसला इसी बीच आया और हमने देखा कि पूरे देश ने बहुत शांति से, संयम से इसको स्वीकार किया और सभी समुदाय बहुत अच्छे तरीके से देश के इस मुद्दे में रहे। आर्थिक स्लो डाउन जो दुनिया भर में है, उसका थोड़ा परिणाम हमारे देश पर भी होता है, लेकिन उसी में आज हमने इतने बड़े निर्णय मोदी सरकार ने लिए हैं और लगातार ले रहे हैं।
Well, as the Modi 2.0 government completes 6 months in office, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday said the dispensation has taken numerous decisions that have pushed the country's development, accelerated social empowerment and enhanced unity. In a series of tweets using the hashtag 6 months of India First, the Prime Minister said that the government aspires to do even more in the times to come so that we can create a prosperous and a progressive new India. He added Inspired by the motto Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and with the blessings of 130 crore Indians, the NDA government has continued working towards developing India and empowering the lives of 130 crore Indians with renewed vigor. Moving on now, an estimated 64.44% polling was recorded in the first phase of the assembly elections in Jharkhand on Saturday. 13 constituencies spread over 6 districts went to polls in this phase. Maximum over 71% voting was recorded in Lohardaga Assembly constituency, while 70% voting was registered in Bishnupur, followed by over 67% in Naxal-infested constituencies Latehar and Bhavnathpur. Election Commission said that voting percentage has increased more than 1.15% in comparison to 2014 assembly elections. The voting commenced at 7 a.m. and ended at 3 p.m. However, there was no report of any untoward incident. Some more political news now. The Shiv Sena NCP Congress government in Maharashtra, led by Uddhav Thackeray, sailed through the trust vote in the Maharashtra Assembly on Saturday. The alliance won with 169 votes, well above the halfway mark of 145 in the 288-member Assembly. The three parties together have 154 MLAs. A total of 169 MLAs voted in favor of the confidence motion, while 4 members abstained. With 105 BJP MLAs absent, 0 votes were cast against the motion. Earlier, Congress's Ashok Chavan proposed the trust vote, while NCP's Nawab Malik and Shiv Sena's Sunil Prabhu seconded it. After winning the floor test, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray thanked all the MLAs and the people of Maharashtra. Meanwhile, former Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis added that the business was transacted in violation of the Constitution, as Vande Mataram was not played to signal the start of proceedings.
इन्होंने स्पीकर के चुनाव से पहले फ्लोर टेस्ट का ऐलान किया और अपने एमएलएस को इतने दिनों से होटल में 5 स्टार होटल में कैद में रखकर और आज उनको यहाँ लाकर ओपन पद्धति से पहले मतदान कीजिए, उसके बाद ही जाइए, और इसके लिए पूरे नियमों को, संविधान को ताक पर रखने का काम यहाँ किया गया। ये पूरा काम आज जो हुआ है, ये सारा का सारा काम नियमों को, संविधान को ताक पर रखकर हुआ है। संविधान के अनुसार जो सभागृह नहीं चलता उसमें हम काम नहीं कर सकते, हम संविधान अनुरूप ही काम करेंगे। इसलिए हम सबने इस सभागृह के कामकाज पर बहिष्कार डाला है। हम माननीय राज्यपाल जी को एक पत्र भी देने वाले हैं कि ये सारा कामकाज निरस्त हो।
Meanwhile, on Sunday, the Assembly Speaker's election will be held, followed by tabling of the motion of thanks on the Governor's address in the House. The new Speaker will then announce the name of the Leader of the Opposition in the Assembly. Meanwhile, no decision has been taken yet on who will the Deputy Chief Minister be of Maharashtra. Senior NCP leader Praful Patel said that a decision in this regard will be taken after the Assembly session ends.
The Deputy Chief Minister's post is with the NCP, and we will fill up the post post the Nagpur session, which will end around 21st of December.
A short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Million people have now given the thumbs up to Rajya Sabha television. RSTV's growth has been phenomenal, with the journey from 2 million to 3 million being completed in less than 6 months. That's over 6,200 new subscribers every day. Our online viewers are engaging with us more actively. Every day, thousands like, share and comment on our videos. So come and join this growing tribe of RSTV viewers and get ready for an exciting journey.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. I'm Frank Rausen Pereira. This is Rajya Sabha Television. Well, Rajya Sabha recorded productivity of 84% during the second week of the ongoing winter session. In the last week, members of Rajya Sabha availed a total of 22 hours and 15 minutes but lost over 5 hours due to disruptions. Here's a detailed report.
Rajya Sabha recorded a productivity of 84% in the just concluded second week of the ongoing winter session. The upper house completed some important business during the week, leading Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu to compliment members for the good work. Rajya Sabha transacted business for 22 hours and 15 minutes in the scheduled available time of 26 hours 29 minutes for the second week. 5 hours and 45 minutes were lost due to disruptions over the political developments in Maharashtra on the first working day of the week. Members, however, made up 1.31 hours by sitting beyond scheduled time. All listed 15 starred questions were orally answered twice, setting a new record during the week. Of the total 60 starred questions listed for 4 working days, 43, accounting for 71.66% of the total, were orally answered. Question hour could not be taken on the first day of the week as the House had to be adjourned by the chairman, with the opposition insisting on a discussion on the Maharashtra governor's role, despite the chairman giving a detailed ruling on rules and earlier rulings of the chair not permitting the same. Question hour was not scheduled on the second day on account of a joint sitting of members of both houses to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the adoption of the Indian Constitution. Members also made a record 51 zero-hour submissions and 30 special mentions on various issues of public importance. All the admitted zero-hour and special mentions were made on the last working day of the week, with members complimenting the chairman for the same. For the first 2 weeks of the winter session, Rajya Sabha has reported a combined productivity of 89%. Of the total available time of 55 hours and 6 minutes, the House availed 49 hours and 15 minutes. 8 hours and 28 minutes were lost on account of disruptions, while members made up 2 hours and 37 minutes by sitting late, resulting in a net total loss of 5 hours and 51 minutes during the first half of this session. Next week, the upper house is likely to take up the Special Protection Group Amendment Bill, the Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu Merger Bill, and the National Capital Territory of Delhi Recognition of Property Rights of Residents in Unauthorized Colonies Bills, all passed by the Lok Sabha. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, moving on now, President Ramnath Kovind on Saturday said that technology has been a prime mover of social change. He was addressing students at an international conference in Pranveer Singh Institute of Technology, Kanpur. The president added technology will play an important role in achieving the target of a $5 trillion economy as set by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said that apart from giving the country economic might, new forms of knowledge have bettered the lives of people on the margins of society. Kovind was on a day-long visit to his hometown, Kanpur.
भारत सरकार की नई शिक्षा नीति का लक्ष्य भी देश को नॉलेज सुपर पावर बनाने का है। यह लक्ष्य तभी पूरा हो सकता है जब शिक्षा संस्थाओं को जिज्ञासा, प्रयोग और कौशल का केंद्र बनाया जाए। सही मायनों में शिक्षा का उद्देश्य तभी पूरा होगा जब विकास सर्वांगीण हो और सभी वर्गों का हो।
Well, later in the evening, the president also attended a facilitation program organized by the Kanpur Nagar Nigam. He also addressed the event.
कभी-कभी प्रदूषित शहरों की सूची में कानपुर नगर भी आ गया और ये हम सब लोगों के लिए चिंता था। मुझे ज्ञात हुआ है कि कानपुर की टैनरियों और सीवेज के अपशिष्ट जल का शोधन करने और शहर के पूरे कचरे के समुचित निस्तारण पर तेजी से काम किया जा रहा है। हम एक कदम और आगे बढ़कर स्मार्ट टेक्नोलॉजी और इंटीग्रेटेड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट और एनर्जी जैसी प्रणाली का प्रयोग करके कचरे से बिजली कर सकते हैं और इमारतों के मलबे की रिसाइकलिंग करके उससे ईंट या टाइल्स भी बना सकते हैं।
Meanwhile, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that education must not only foster scientific spirit and entrepreneurial endeavor in students, but also create in them a thirst to innovate. He said this while addressing the 17th convocation of the University of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Dehradun. Naidu said it is important to create more job creators than job seekers and added that a culture of innovation must be nurtured in our educational institutions, and this needs to be supported and sustained through generous investments both from the public and the private sectors.
Educational institutions must be quick on their feet to anticipate the future trends as well as adopt, evolve and respond to disruptions. No institution can insulate itself from the unpredictability of technological progression and disruption. The success of institution is not about what we do in the next few years, but it is our ability to create future-ready professionals and leverage for inclusive and sustainable growth and development. Our youth must be equipped with domain-focused education, skills and expertise.
Well, adding that the eyes of the world were upon India, the Vice President said that it is with the enormous youth population, India has the potential to be the growth engine of the world. He also said that since artificial intelligence and automation were replacing humans in routine jobs, educational institutions need to adapt and evolve. He reminded that the fourth industrial revolution is on the horizon and urged educational institutions to become its backbone by being its knowledge and human resource partner.
लेकिन अगर समावेशी और स्थायी विकास के लिए इस युवा शक्ति का उपयोग किया जाना हो तो जरूरी है कि हमारे युवाओं के पास क्षेत्र विशेष में शिक्षा, प्रशिक्षण तथा विशेषज्ञता हासिल हो. And more knowledge, more and more innovation is required for India's accelerated progress. So the research done by you has to keep in mind the ultimate aim of the research is for the betterment of the people.
Earlier, the Vice President attended an event organized in Haridwar in the memory of martyrs of the freedom struggle. The program was organized by the Raja Vijay Singh Memorial and Girls Educational Extension Committee. Addressing the event, the Vice President said that people should perform their fundamental duties and remain devoted to the nation.
और हम सब देशवासी ऐसी एक भावना, भारतीय भावना, हमारा देश सब एक है, हम सब एक है, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, India is one nation, one people, one country. इस देश के लिए हम सब कुछ करने के लिए तैयार होना चाहिए, ये बहुत जरूरी है. आज़ादी के बाद हम काफ़ी प्रगति किया, मगर और भी प्रगति करना है. प्रगति तभी संभव होगा हम सब लोग मिलकर काम करें. केंद्र सरकार और प्रदेश सरकार और म्युनिसिपैलिटी और पंचायत सब मिलकर काम करें. हर एक व्यक्ति अपना कर्तव्य निभाए. हम लोग ज़्यादा हकों के बारे में, अधिकारों के बारे में चर्चा करते हैं, मगर हमारा कर्तव्य पालना भी बहुत जरूरी है. आपका अधिकार तभी सुरक्षित होंगे जब आप और आपका पड़ोसी अपना कर्तव्य निभाएंगे. बिना कर्तव्य अधिकार नहीं मिलेगा, बिना कर्तव्य अधिकार नहीं मिलेगा. और हम सब लोग केवल अपना इलाके के बारे में नहीं, पूरा देश के बारे में सोचना चाहिए.
The Vice President emphasized the need to propagate mother tongue and said that children should be able to learn more and more languages without neglecting their mother tongue, as there is a strong association between language and emotion. Many dignitaries were present on the occasion, including the Governor, Baby Rani Maurya, Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat and Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank.
ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, ब्रिटिश वाले आने के बाद हमने हमारा संस्कृति, हमारा भाषा, हमारा वेश, हमारा व्यवहार में काफ़ी परिवर्तन आया, मानसिक परिवर्तन आया. और इंग्लिश वालों ने उस समय उन्होंने अंग्रेजी मीडियम लागू किया. और अंग्रेजी उद्देश्य क्या था? आपका संस्कृति को ध्वंस करने के लिए. कारण क्या है? भाषा और भावना एक साथ चलता है, इसलिए उन्होंने भाषा के ऊपर भी हमला किया, बाद में संस्कृति के ऊपर भी हमला किया. इंग्लिश सीखना आजकल इस जमाने में कोई गलती नहीं है, जरूर सीखिए. मगर मेरा कहना है इस संदर्भ में हर एक प्रदेश सरकार पाठ्यक्रमों में माध्यम कम से कम 12वीं कक्षा तक अपनी मातृभाषा में होना बहुत जरूरी है.
And now let's talk about environment and climate change. Well, students took to the streets on Friday to protest global warming in 2,300 cities across 153 countries around the world. These strikes are part of a global movement started last year by Swedish teenager activist Greta Thunberg. Since then, millions of people around the world have joined the effort. This protest comes just before COP25, wherein representatives from 200 countries will meet for the 12-day UN climate change conference in Madrid. COP25 holds significance as countries prepare to move from pre-2020 period under Kyoto Protocol to the post-2020 period under the Paris Agreement. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this newscast. Good night.